Hello and welcome to Bow Beats. So in today's video I just wanted to talk with you about a little tool that I think is super interesting. It's the... oh wait. It's the pocket operators from Teenage Engineering, and these are, in my mind, sort of the best, yeah, I dare to say, the best designed groove boxes that I've ever come across. Now I do come from a real groovebox background. I started out with Yamaha RM1X that you can see a little image of here, and it wasn't really a pain to work with. I kind of enjoyed it, but people are telling me that it was pretty complicated. It was a lot of menu diving for sure, but it was still kind of an intuitive workflow for me at least. But I know some will disagree. So coming from that background and purchasing, or I didn't purchase it, I got it as a birthday present from my mother. But getting this, which costs about the same as an expensive video game, so around 60 euros, I was really amazed at the ingenuity behind the engineering inside the pocket operators. And I'm not paid to say this, but this is my first Teenage Engineering product. Why do I love it so much? Well, I love it because it's a small form factor, super portable, yet good sounding groovebox with 16 different sounds, and I think it goes for several of the pocket operators, not all of them. I think there's one that is more of a bass and one that is more of a lead, but for example the drum one, for example, has I think 16 sounds if I'm not mistaken. And so there's 16 sounds on it, and you can play them simultaneously, and the sort of engineering that has gone into this is amazing. You have one button here, which you use to pick sounds of the 16. You have a pattern button up here, and you have a BPM button. You also have a chord function that you can activate pushing the chord and the knob here, so you can get a sort of a drone going that sounds something like this. So you have 16 sounds, you have a drone, but it's not really the sounds or the functionality of the sounds that amaze me so much. What amazed me, you have this quick workflow where you can pick a sound, you can build on a number of different patterns here. You have 16 patterns, and you can build a song on it, linking them together, chaining them very easily, just, you know, pressing pattern and pressing two patterns together. But you can also pick how many times each pattern should play. So if I pick pattern 1, press it 1 time, 2 times, and then pattern 2, 1 time, 2 times. It will play pattern 1 2 times and then pattern 2 2 times, which makes it sort of a song mode, really. I think for a video game priced groovebox, that's an amazing way of working with chaining stuff together. Now, what I also love about it is the chord function that I showed you. I love the effects. So if you press effects, you have 16 different effects that you can apply in real time to the sound. Let me try and show you real quick. So we had the little drum groove now, and now we've an effect. So as you can see, it's super creative, it's very responsive, it's very fun to use. And if you want to check out some more PO-20 tunes that I've made where I use the effects live, I'll leave links here somewhere, or annotations that will show up, and you can check them out later. But back to why I think this is a almost perfect groovebox. I mean, it's sure, you couldn't just scale this up and it wouldn't really work, but you can take some of the ideas here are amazing. I love the way you can pick sounds fast, just pressing sound and pressing one of the sounds and then start working away in a pattern. You can link patterns together, you can create songs. You have a chord function, but here's one thing that I find, besides the effects are also very interesting, the live effects. One thing that I really enjoy with it is the fact that you have a chord function. So basically what goes on when you press the chord function is that you can press any number of the 16 buttons here that corresponds to a certain chord. You can press it just like the patterns. You can press it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and so on, up to, I think it's up to, I'm not sure, 128. When you play a song, it will progress through the chords. You can build a chord progression. And some of the sounds will actually change their note values. I'm not exactly sure which of the sounds and exactly how it's done, but some of the sounds will change their note values in accordance to the chord that is played. For me, it's brilliant. It's like a chord track, but in a much more fast and easy way. You just press chord, press the numbers you want, like, okay, I want this chord 1 time and this chord another time, and so on. Why do I love it? Because it's super fast to get stuff from your head and into a groove. And you can sort of fiddle around, try different chord structures. You don't have to think so much. You can rather do it by, just feeling. And I think that is what makes a good groove box. That it's not something with necessarily insane depth, but it's very easy to get a song idea going and get a groove going. The question is, of course, could you scale this up? And yeah, if I look at, for example, the analog keys, there are some similarities. The sort of pattern chaining is similar. Now, what if you had, for example, pads on the Electron analog keys? Pads you could press that corresponded to different effects that were preset, but you could also edit them, like on the analog rhythm, for example, that you have performance mode. What if you had something like that? I know you have the knobs instead that you can use to assign to different things, but what I'm after here is something that is much more easy to use without a ton of editing. Something that's on the fly, ready to go whenever you want it. Just to try it out. So the effects is one thing I'd like to see in a bigger product. And another thing I'd like to see is this sort of chord track, this sort of chord progression idea that the pocket operators are rocking. Now, I know there are products that do similar things, and usually in a DAW environment you can put a chord track. But what I like is that it's so tactile that you can just press the buttons and then just corresponds to different chords, and you can just, while you're playing, you could change it up. So while you're in the groove, you sort of change it up. So even if you're a really good keyboard player and you have your chords and you have recorded them, this is a super fast way to change the chords on the fly, and I like it. It's sort of the equivalent to the circuits scale mode, where you can change scales depending on what you want. So you can just change it up when you're playing. But the difference is here is that you actually have the chords, and I love that the sound changes in accordance to the chords. So I think that's one way to just jam away and create a really interesting structure. Because even if you know chords and you can play chords, the problem is that if you have a predefined bass, for example, and you have a predefined sort of pad progression, and you want to change the melody, perhaps, or you want to change the pad progression, you have to change everything. So something like that on the Electron analog keys would be super amazing, super cool. And that is why I think the pocket operators are terrific groove boxes, really, by design. I mean, if you don't like the sound of it, then you probably shouldn't buy it. But I was super skeptical about the pocket operators, and when I tried it, when I learned the workflow, it became second nature to me. It's not that hard to learn, really, and it's just a lot of fun. Granted, I don't see myself integrating it a lot into my other tracks, but still, I mean, a part of creating music is just having fun, jamming away, and I definitely see myself performing using this one or several others, because it's a lot of fun and it's very creative. So I definitely give the pocket operators my little seal of approval, and I think it's goddamn great engineering here. I'm usually very skeptical about a lot of things, but I just see so little wrong with this product and so many right things. And when I talk about products, I usually give a little divorce rating. So I think I inversed it. I took it the other way around last time. So maybe I should give this maybe a lower. Is it more logical that a lower divorce score is better? So I'm not sure. So I give the pocket operator a divorce score of 1 out of 5, which is sort of 5 out of 5 really. You can leave a comment telling me what you feel is more logical. So I give this a high or low divorce score because it's cheap, it won't lead to any divorces, and it's a super interesting product, and the engineering is really amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I hope to see you in the next video. And if you have any questions about the pocket operators, or if you have any questions about the channel or about music production, just leave them down in the comments. And often I will respond pretty quickly, and if it's a complicated question, maybe I'll do a video on it. And if you have any video suggestions, just leave them down there. And oh, by the way, I've made a Patreon page. Now it's not really official yet. I haven't made an official release, but I sort of made a sneak start over on Patreon. So if you'd like to, you can go there and support me. That would be super cool. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. This was Bo from Bo Beats, not Bob Eats. But I will go and eat now, so